Hello, I am going to share with you today 5 stories that you need to be sharing with your audience to create massive connection. Hello, my name is Chantal Adams, professional speaker, speech stylist, and courage igniter. And I am all about helping women entrepreneurs to find their voice, own their story, and have the courage to share it through the power of speaking, turning their message into a movement. All right, let's get down to stories. Now, stories are one of the most important things that you can use to grow your business, grow your influence, grow your audience, and help them to become raving fans. Now, we know that it's so important to have a brand story, but there's so many other ways that you can use stories throughout your marketing and through your just outreach with your audience. So today I'm going to share with you just 5 stories. I've got a whole lot of them, but 5 stories today, some of my favorites, that you can share right away with your audience to build massive connection. The first one is the fired up story. So if something has happened in your life that's made you get so fired up and so passionate about something, or maybe you've seen an injustice or you've heard of something happening to someone else and it just has gotten you right fired up, then you need to share that. A lot of times that fired up story connects with your message, connects with your work, or if it doesn't, it's a great way just to share your passion, share your beliefs, and get people on knowing you on a deeper level. So the fired up story is a great one. So I want you to think, what's one time recently where I got all fired up, and then share it. Share that passion, share that anger, excitement, whatever it might be, so that your audience understands your point of view. They get another side of you. They get to see what really makes you tick or get really ticked off. So that fired up story is a great one. And I've heard of lots of people who get in there and they're all fired up and they're sharing their passion, they're sharing their point of view, and people are paying attention. Okay, people listen to those fired up stories. So find your fired up story and share it. The next one is a success or celebration. As we are entrepreneurs, most of us, there's a lot of times that we miss celebrating. So I know for myself that I go kind of from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. There's always something to do, always something to accomplish. And so a lot of times I don't take time to just celebrate. And if you can include your audience and your fans in that celebration, that's an amazing gift that you're giving them. Now, this isn't to brag or to put yourself out there to make them feel less. It's to celebrate and encourage them to celebrate with you. So it gets that feeling of camaraderie in your group, that you're open to sharing and celebrating with them about your successes. Of course, it shows your credibility, but it really is to bring that genuine, let's share, let's celebrate to your audience. Another great story that you can do is the struggle is real. So a lot of times in the online world, we see all the white picket fences, we see all the beautiful things, the perfect launches, the outcomes of all these successes, and we don't always really talk about the struggle. And there's a lot of struggle going on behind the scenes in all of our businesses. And it's important for us to get vulnerable, to get real, and share what's really going on, what we're really going through. Now, I don't want you to be like a total Debbie Downer all the time where you're like, man, this stuff sucks and I can't do this and this is so hard. But you can really share those genuine mistakes, which I know there are really no mistakes because there are always lessons to learn. But you can share the growth mindset. You can share the struggle, share that it's real, but then also share the lessons. Share the action that you're going to be taking. Share the momentum that you've gained because of that struggle, because you stuck it out, because you stuck with it. So the struggle is real is such a beautiful story to share. When you're going through that struggle and you're just kind of coming over the top, when you can share that with those in your audience who are in the trenches right now, who are going through that struggle, maybe at a different level, that's another thing that I've shared a lot of the times is that, you know, just because I've had great success in my business doesn't mean I don't have those doubts and those fears very much the same as when I was starting out. And so then I can really relate to those who are really just in that starting phase of their business, and they can be like, wow, you still deal with those doubts and fears? Okay, I don't feel so alone anymore. So the struggle is real story is great for really providing that connection and helping them to know that they are not alone. The fourth story I want you to try and write and share with your audience is the daily life lesson. Now, I'm a mom to 3 boys, and we've got 3 dogs, and we live on a vineyard, and there are all kinds of lessons that I'm learning from my kids, from my husband, from all kinds of things. And I remember one time even I was driving home, and this little quail, they're these little funny birds, and it ran out in front of me, and then it kind of went back and forth, and we were doing this little dance, and I was putting on my brakes. I didn't want to run it over. And I remember I was like, can you just make up your mind already which way you're going to go? And it was this really funny thing where I actually was like saying this in my head, like, just make up your mind already. Pick a path. Like, don't just keep going back and forth. And it was funny because it kind of hit me, because in that moment, I was going back and forth in my business. And I see a lot of people going back and forth and doing one thing and then kind of falling back into the same old patterns. And we really need to pick that path and stick it out and go for it and not doubt ourselves and second guess ourselves. And so I actually came home and wrote a blog post about it, sent it out to my list about these funny little quail birds. And it was just a funny story that really had an impactful lesson tied to it. And if you're looking in your daily life, there are countless stories that have lessons to them that you can tweak slightly to be for whatever audience you have listening in on your, or reading your blog posts or listening to your video blogs. So there's always a way to take that lesson, and even if it doesn't seem like it's totally applicable to your line of work or to those in your audience, you totally can find a way to make it so. Okay, so just like my story of the quail, you can find a daily life lesson that applies to business or applies to whatever work that you share in the world. So I want you to look for those daily life lessons and find the connections so that you can share it with your audience. And the last one is a behind the scenes glimpse of your business, of your day, of how you get things done, how you go about creating an event or putting a program together. Giving those behind the scenes glimpses is really powerful because it shows that you know what you're up to, you know what you're doing. It helps people to kind of get that behind the scenes glance. It's like that VIP pass into your life and business. People love that. And so that's a great way to build that connection, to teach some lessons, and to get more raving fans. So these are all great stories that you can use in your next newsletters, in your content in social media. Test them out. See the reaction you get. See the connection you get. See the replies you get. You're going to build amazing connection with people. There's going to be great comments and conversation around these. Get people talking. Get people sharing. And when you share these stories, you're going to see massive connection with your audience. I promise. And until next time, keep shining. Bye.